Okay, so this video is a follow-up to everything that we had seen last night after the Canucks game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, when this initially popped up, I was exporting the video. In fact, the first piece of news that we had seen, I got the notification as I was recording, so I kind of mentioned it for a little bit, but I didn't really expand on it until this video, which is coming a day later, which is unfortunate because, I had a post-game video review to do, so we were not able to get to this because this all took place after the game. But an interesting note about yesterday's Canucks and Columbus game was that one Ilya Mikheyev ended up scoring a goal. It was a very weird goal, probably one of the worst goals he's ever scored. I know a goal is a goal, especially at the NHL level, but Mikheyev takes a long shot from far out, it deflects off the end boards, bounces out in front, and goes off of Korpisalo's skate and in. It was a really strange goal, but either way, this game was one where Mikheyev honestly looked pretty okay. And I think most of the games are games where Mikheyev looks, as we said, pretty okay. He's a pretty speedy dude. He's quick, he's nimble, he's powerful on his skates for somebody that's primarily known as a fly-the-zone type of winger. But we had ourselves news yesterday after the Canucks and the Blue Jackets game that Ilya Mikheyev would be shut down for the rest of the season following pending ACL surgery. Now, I, like many other Canucks fans, upon seeing that news, I saw the news while I was recording the post-game video, so I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? Mikheyev has an injury? What happened? This guy just played, he just scored a goal. The Canucks have not even been off the ice for more than an hour, and we're already having Mikheyev need surgery conversation? What the heck is happening here? And then we had ourselves the press conference, the Ilya Mikheyev interview with the media, where he went out there and actually talked about what happened. I don't want to showcase the video here because that's copyrighted material, but Ilya Mikheyev did indeed get emotional in the video when talking about how his season is finished. He says it was almost a full tear of his ACL, and he'll have the surgery next week. Now, further to this point, I wanted to talk about a few more things. Firstly, let's talk about Canucks Medical, and secondly, let's also talk about Frank Saravalli, because I do think there are some pretty intriguing conversations that can be brought up by both of these ideas, starting out with Canucks Medical. Now, initially, a lot of people would go out there and say, wait a minute, what the heck? Mikheyev has been needing surgery this whole time? In fact, here's the tweet from Elliot Friedman. Vancouver GM Patrick Allvin announces that Ilya Mikheyev is being shut down and he needs ACL surgery. This is because he played with an injury that he suffered in the preseason. Friedman then follows up, he is expected to be ready for training camp, which sounds like the reason this is being done now. And a lot of the replies are going out there saying, wait a minute, what? This guy played for 3 months with an ACL injury? How the hell do you even do that? What the hell are the Vancouver Canucks medical staff doing? You're supposed to figure out if your guys are injured or not. This is what happened with Jason Dickinson last year. You know how that guy's doing pretty alright in Chicago right now? Yeah, he was bad in Vancouver. Apparently he played the whole season with a hand injury that he didn't even know about. What happened with Tanner Pearson? That guy has multiple surgeries that have been done or that are supposed to be done, and it was supposed to not be this serious. Thatcher Demko was supposed to be back after 6 weeks. He's on pace to being out for much longer than that. What the hell are the Canucks medical staff doing? This is another domino in a series of failures by this department, and I get that it's really easy to overreact and say all the stuff that I just said in the last 20 or 30 seconds or so. But I do want to give the benefit of the doubt to Canucks Medical with this Mikheyev thing, mostly due to some other information that we had received. This is a Twitter thread from Rick Dhaliwal talking about some quotes made by agent Dan Milstein. He's the guy that represents a lot of Russian players. Mikheyev and Kuzmenko are indeed two of them. Milstein says, we got second and third opinions and talked with specialists. We knew this day, where Mikheyev would have to be shut down, was coming. Ilya and myself would like to thank the Canucks medical staff, the management, and we were all on the same page. He then had another tweet saying that Ilya did try to play through it and it was his decision to step away. There's no one to blame here. Since September, we knew this was possible. Surgery is going to be held in the US next week. Now, this is sort of why I'm not going to go out there and harp on Canucks Medical like I have been on previous issues in the past, because Not only was it apparent to the player that this was the thing, not only was it apparent to the agent, the medical staff, and a whole bunch of other people that were brought in to consult on this, but Mikheyev himself was like, okay, I kind of want to try and play through it. Now, I'm personally not somebody who has ever had something like this happen to me before. I don't know what an ACL tear feels like. I don't know how all that stuff works with the body. And of course, Ilya Mikheyev is a pro athlete. I'm just a guy in my bedroom making videos as a full-time job. But when it comes to these types of things, I find it difficult to believe that it's black and white. Oh, he's injured? Okay, well, he's not going to play anymore. Okay, he's healthy? Then he's good to go. It's not one or the other. It's very apparent to me that in this situation, Mikheyev was like, okay, there is a problem here, but I want to try playing it out anyway. I want to go out there and see what I've got in this new market, with this new team, new city, new fans, etc. I want to show my worth. And even though there's going to be an inevitability where one day I have to stop playing in the season, take the surgery, and take some time off, I want to go out there and try anyway. And that's what he did. And Mikheyev, realistically, 28 points in 46 games played. Sure, he produced a little bit better last year with the Maple Leafs than he did for Vancouver this season. In the sample he had with the Canucks, he had 46 games played, 28 points, and 13 goals on the season. He was on pace for 22 goals, 48 total points as well, which would have been a career high. And it's kind of funny because even though Mikheyev had this season-ending injury, let's just say it like that, because that's sort of what it is, an injury that requires season-ending surgery. So in theory, by proxy, a season-ending injury. It was suffered in the preseason, so long ago, and this entire time Mikheyev has been hurt. He's been slowly trying to rehab his body, and yet he still goes out there and plays pretty well. Satyr Shah kind of said it here. Mikheyev performed admirably considering his knee injury. We haven't seen the best version of him yet, which includes another gear in speed. And so what I wanted to do was just say, hey, Mikheyev had a great season, all things considered. Next season, I'm hoping he's a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit lighter on his feet, hopefully. But of course, recovering from surgery and spending the entire summer off isn't really something that you could project properly for anybody. So all we can do is hope for the best. But before this video ends off, I wanted to say one more thing as well. Frank Seravalli had himself a pretty intriguing take earlier on in the season. Sometime back in September, he was on Sportsnet 650 talking about Ilya Mikheyev, and he said something that got Canucks fans up and enraged. Here's a tweet about the entire ordeal. I wanted to clarify something from Sportsnet 650 this morning. I said there was concern from the Canucks initially that Ilya Mikheyev may have suffered a torn ACL and they were awaiting an update. Sounds like the prognosis was positive and the worst was avoided. Expect him to resume skating soon. This was back on September 29th, 2022. And you had Jason Bruff quote tweet this a few hours ago saying, hey, memories. And Seravalli says, yeah, I seem to remember taking a beating from Donnie and Dolly on that one. And so, for all the Canucks fans that went out there and tarnished Frank Seravalli's name because he's spreading rumors that aren't true or whatever, his sources are wrong, whatever, yeah, it turns out the man was right again. He leaked the entire Seattle Kraken expansion draft hours before the actual event. I don't want to go out there and doubt Mr. Frank Seravalli's sources no longer. So, talk to the comments your thoughts about Ilya Mikheyev and the season that he had, despite the fact that he had this ACL injury the entire time. Does that change your opinion on how he played? Do you think he's destined for greater things, bigger and badder things in Vancouver? Badder as in, good. It's kind of funny how oxymoronic that is. But either way, thoughts in the comment section below about Mikheyev and his season-ending surgery, which arose from this injury suffered in the preseason. Thoughts on how the Canucks should proceed forward. Thoughts on the Canucks medical staff for allowing this to go through. And is this kind of different from the Jason Dickinson, Tanner Pearson, Thatcher Demko stuff that we had talked about in the past? I feel like it is, but you can let me know in the comments whether or not you feel the same way as well. But thoughts in the comment section below. Either way, all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.